Hi, my name is Layla Paredes, and this is my Tortilla Flat Chapter 11 discussion. Rain is a rare occurrence in Monterey. Big Joe has just begun to follow his calling of his stomach back to Danny's house after a long day of laying on the beach under a rowboat when it begins to pour. Big Joe is immediately soaked and runs for the nearest residence to ask for shelter, which in this case belongs to a widow, Tia Ignacia. Tia has just uncorked a new gallon jug of wine and poured herself a glass. She tries to hide the wine under the chair, but it is too late. Big Joe's eyes were glued to the bottle. Out of politeness, she offers him a seat out of the rain and a glass of wine. 4 or 5 glasses later, she realizes that the wine is doomed and that she will have to drink at pace with him if she wants to have any for herself. Gradually, a romantic interest begins to peak in the widow Ignacia for the hulking fame of Big Joe. She tries to get him to remove his coat so she can dry it, but all that Big Joe is interested in is the wine. She tries making indirect invitations, which seems to go completely over Joe's head. Finally, she decides to abandon decency and asks him if it's all right to shut off the light to conserve gas. Big Joe does not resist, and after Tia turns off the lights, she settles in to half-heartedly resist Big Joe's intentions. She hears his cup drop and she braces herself, but no motion comes. Joe has fallen asleep in the warmth and comfort of her house, and the widow is furious. She picks up a hefty stick from the wood box and proceeds to beat him back to consciousness. She chases him out into the street, and Big Joe is forced to grab hold of her to stop her from hitting him. With Tia Ignacia in a firm bear hug, Big Joe's romantic side is finally awakened. He asks the policeman who has driven up to investigate the disturbance to give them a few minutes before arresting them, but the policeman just drives away. This whole chapter between Big Joe and Tia provides further characterization of Big Joe as a huge oaf driven by his appetites, who never pauses to think beyond the present moment. When Big Joe enters Tia's house, he is only taking of shelter, and all he wants is warmth and wine. He does not seem to have any interest in her feelings, and he does not take the trouble to wonder why she is fluttering around him and turning off lights. Even at the end of the chapter, when he feels love for her, there is no indication that this is love in anything but carnal desire. Unlike some writers of this era who treat sex as something only men care about, Steinbeck assumes women want to enjoy it also. He shows Tia persistently and eagerly trying to say something to make Big Joe seduce her. However, his depictions of Tia and other sexualized women are problematic because the female character always makes a show or resisting men's sexual advances. In this chapter, for example, Tia braced herself to repel Big Joe even after implicitly inviting him to seduce her. By depicting foreplay as a game in which the woman's role is to say no, but not mean it, Steinbeck describes a word in which men ignore a woman when she says no. In other words, for the men in Tortilla Flat, there is no distinction between sex and rape, and no need to trouble themselves about consent. Based upon that thought, I believe that the passions and the morals of these characters are not fully developed. As we know now, passions can be described in many ways, but morals are something that you're grown with. And I believe that the morals, aren't fitting the situations that these men should be placed in. Here are a few questions to ask you guys. First one is, how do you think the interactions between the two characters changed, or did you see this coming? Second question is, what do you think sparked Tia's desire to advance on Big Joe? Could it be just pure passion or stem from past relationship experience? Question 3. What moment in the chapter, or if any, did you think these events took a turn? When was there a moment of defined passion between the two characters? All right, thank you.